Item F is future meeting is February 10th. The work plan is to hear the presentation from the city auditor, discussion on illegal dumping, and the presentation on code enforcement. I just got a handout just now. What is this?
That's from me, Larry.
Okay. So what is it?
I hate to extend this a little bit. Since we can't have a committee to talk about illegal dumping, I've met with ESD and a number of people on my own and put this thing together. Okay. There's a lot more information I've stripped down. I wanted to get it distributed. But I got some very specific questions for what I'm calling the managements of the staff and the chair and the vice chair. This was our number one item on the work plan. Got the most votes of anything around. It's now been reduced down to a single presentation next time around. What is the outcome of that going to be? What action are we going to take as a commission? What will we be able to report to our districts and when? What is the mechanism to bring information back from the districts to add to this thing? What will be our contribution really to addressing illegal dumping in the city? And is this one little meeting, this one presentation, really sufficient to address our work plan item?
And will we get that presentation before?
So how are, I mean, our number one item has been reduced down to a single presentation by ESD and a discussion.
I don't want to sit here and watch a movie either.
Well, we can't just, that's not an item for discussion on the agenda.
Right, we don't have to
tonight.
do this.
What you're talking about is simply what is on the agenda for next week.
Right.
So you can bring it up next week if you want to.
No.
So what we're talking about,
Next
Item
month.
number 2 is illegal dumping.
yeah,
Yes.
so what we're talking about is for next meeting is what recommendations?
It is on the agenda to talk about what we are going to be talking
Right,
about.
but it sounds like he's wanting to get into the
He just
meat
said
No.
of
some
this issue.
questions.
No. These are just questions. What is our function? What is the value of having this on our work, on our agenda next month?
And you can ask us to think about what is our thing.
That's why I handed this out.
Don't ask it as expect an answer
Yeah,
today,
right.
because if you're not giving an answer today.
I didn't read it that way, Kim.
Huh?
I didn't read his questions that way. I thought that they were synopsizing what was in this so that we could review it. And I would concur that this is a really popular area. We all voted it in. I think we gotta give it its due and give deep consideration and take some action on something meaningful. I have some ideas and then I'll share them when it's agendized. So do I.
Larry, a question?
So first, Nicole.
A great effort, but this is completely, I don't know the phrase, out of order. It needs to be agendized, it needs to be following some form of process. This is like being mugged.
We have no form of
Well,
process.
please,
Okay.
I'm asserting
Sorry.
that we do have a clear process,
She has the floor.
that we worked very hard, and as thrilled as I am to see this, it needs to go into the context of how we operate as an effective organization that's efficient and functional. And I think at 9:10 or 9:09, to start that dialogue makes it really difficult to do, and makes it difficult for us to function. So just ask them to follow the process.
Quick question. If on this agenda tonight, we're discussing future meetings February, and this subject is on this piece of paper in public, and he's passed this out in public, can you post this tomorrow or the next 2 or 3 days so that we have it, the public has it, and we'll be informed before this subject comes to commission?
We'll post it consistent with the posting requirement, so it won't be next week. It'll be per the sunshine requirements, which I believe is either 7 or 10 days prior to the, 7 days prior to the meeting. That's when it will get posted.
Okay.
Can he email a copy to you for you to distribute to us electronically beforehand so that we can distribute it to our neighborhoods so that we can get community input for the presentation next month?
I'll check and see. You're welcome to email it to me and I'll check and see, right?
And I'll send you these questions too.
If this has been, this has
Because
been
You all
presented in
have a,
public.
you all have a
record.
copy, you just handed out a copy.
Right, but I'd like to have it electronically so that I can then email it to my distribution list.
If this
of
has
my
been
20
presented in
neighborhood
public, can it therefore be
We
sent to our
want to send it out
neighborhoods?
to the community
You can
input.
do whatever you
Yes.
want with the information, there's no limitations,
Yeah.
but we're posting, we would post per our process.
No, I understand the posting, right, no
He can
problem.
share it with you on email.
Or you can.
No, because he cannot
Scan
email
it.
me,
No, he
because
can't.
then it violates
Just
the
scan it.
comment.
Larry, scan it.
Yeah,
PDF.
I'll scan it, I have like a PDF in those.
It's 9/12.
We're trying to get input from the public, and we're trying to be prepared for the meeting, so we don't just sit here and watch a little movie and then say that was nice. We're trying to express the concerns of the community to the city council members and city manager's office. We're trying to follow the process, and I want to go home and have dinner too, so.
Well, I think, and I was probably totally out of line in my earlier comment, but this is why I made that comment, is exactly to Nicole, your point about, this is our work, this is God's work. But it's at 9:12 that we're able to even have a conversation about how we would like to talk about this in future meetings. That should be the first thing that's on our agenda, is what is our work plan and how we're moving forward. And the book report should be the thing that's coming up at 9:12.
But our guest lecturers don't want to stick around.
Well, but it's a part, if it's important enough for them to be here, I would say that that's part of the respect piece. And that's the part where I'm feeling not respected.
And that's what's stated in the thing that the city manager's office and the legal office is considering. The work process, how we process work.
Yeah, we have no
I
process.
haven't seen it, but it's with the proper folks to take a look at. Best I
Am I
can offer you.
missing something here? This is not the discussion on this.
No,
No.
this is just to share.
Probably should have waited till after the meeting.
No, I think it's fine. It's
Yeah.
So,
Let's just.
in order to,
we'll have a
so
discussion.
rather than it just being a half-hour presentation next month, what we have is, by putting it on the agenda now, we could discuss what questions we want to have answered. So it is fair now to ask staff to have the presentation next month tailored to news and topics.
For us
And
to,
also, at the end of the presentation next month, we can then have a discussion the following month, follow on to it with more information. So it will be more than just a half hour watching a movie. But are there questions? So did you understand the questions that he asked, to have the presentation next month tailored to answer these questions? Is that what you'd like to do?
No, I don't know what the process is. I don't know how to get this pressed forward. I will send to the NC staff email the questions that I listed today and do what you want with them. I just don't know how to move this along.
I'm baffled with the friction, so. I'm baffled with the friction. I see friction, and I
You
just
weren't
don't.
here, that's why.
Okay.
You guys missed that meeting, both of you did.
I think where Pete's trying to go is he wants to make sure on the agenda that we have the proper things listed as potential actions so that we're actually able to do something and not have to come back to then put it on another month to talk about, to issue a letter. You know, let's figure out where we're going and make sure the agenda allows all options, because there's nothing illegal about that. It's
No,
just,
I think the agenda is broad enough to do whatever you want to do on.
I just want to make sure his next month's agenda is broad enough for what we want to do. And I think Pete's
as
trying
long
to
as
make
you
sure
list the
that.
item for discussion, you can agree.
Well, here's my point. If we come to the meeting next month and we see this presentation, we have no opportunity to get organized on our own time. We don't have any opportunity to study the problems. We don't have.
It's just, I think it's an ambitious work plan that the group has come up with. And you're not gonna get these ambitious, meaty subjects, and even council doesn't get these meaty subjects solved or answered in one meeting. There's nothing to say you can't continue to your discussion and say, you know, next month we'll talk about this item for an hour, and then whatever we get done that, and then continue it on to the next meeting. There's nothing that gives you a deadline by when you need to come up with some decision as a group. And next week, or excuse me, next month might be the first time you begin the discussion, and then go back to your respective districts and see what they think about it, and then come back the following month and have that input. I mean, that's the spirit of the neighborhood.
Understand, but that was the way the original work plan was written, was that this was a 3 or 4 month process. It's now been reduced just to the one.
No, it's just listed as that's when the discussion begins. There's nothing to say you are limited to next month to talk about that item. You can continue the discussion for as long as it takes.
Okay,
So
great,
that's it.
That's
wonderful,
Just got
that's fine.
clarification.
And-
Thank you.
And during the work plan, we chose to put it in this month so that it wouldn't so that everything wouldn't happen at the same time. So that was part of the reason for having a schedule, so that we
And
could
if
spread
you
out.
get to a point where you need to defer other items because this is percolating up as a priority for you, you can certainly do that. And we go to the Rules Committee to amend your agenda to fit the work that you want to do. The work plan is a roadmap and to keep you sort of, down the focused.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe. Keep you focused, but you can change it as necessary and you can continue your discussions if these are priority items for you.
Okay, if you could get to Larry then before next month, the process to do that, I'd be very appreciative.
Okay.
Okay, also, we're going to continue discussing the budget and any follow-up with the caucus process. And
That one was started.
comments and suggestions from the commissioners. Any comments?
Yeah. Make a motion, we adjourn?
Second.
Adjourn for pints.
Meeting's adjourned.
I think pints before would make this a much better meeting.
Football winner tonight in California. One person down in Chino, California.
They're in prison. Somebody won the Powerball there in California, Chino. It was good for the state budget.
Very good job you have in your, not favorite commissioner's favorite, so finishing in your 35. And we have 72. We have